There is a kind of seeing that does not depend on the eyes, a kind of knowledge that does not arrive through facts or measurement, and a kind of magic that does not look like magic at all. Rudolf Steiner called this the path to higher worlds, but unlike fantasy or mysticism, his path was one of quiet discipline. He taught that to awaken to the invisible layers of reality, we must first learn to cultivate what he called spiritual perception, a deepened awareness born from clarity of thought, steadiness of feeling, and strength of will. This path does not begin in temples or mountaintops. It begins in everyday life, in how we pay attention, in how we think, feel, and choose when no one is watching. It asks for calmness, for courage, for reverence toward all things, seen and unseen. The first step is stillness. The second is wonder. The third is the willingness to change, not the world around you, but the world within. This is not a quick escape from reality. It is a fuller return to it, because real magic, true magic, is already here, hidden not because it is secret, but because we stopped looking with the eyes that know how to see. It is in the way a tree holds silence, in the slow rusting of a forgotten tool, in the quiet folding of a petal that has finished blooming. Magic does not need spectacle. It does not speak loudly or demand belief. It simply is. Not in the sky, but in the soil. Not in dreams, but in the dew on a morning window. Not in fiction, but in the friction of becoming. It is the life behind life, the presence behind pattern, the intelligence inside decay. We were taught that the world runs on facts, that meaning is constructed and mystery is something to be solved. But every day we sense things that facts cannot hold. We feel shifts in rooms without reason. We carry dreams that change the way we move. We hear music in silence. Every gardener knows the soil remembers. Every child knows the dark is alive. Every artist knows the hands often understand before the mind does. There are other ways of knowing, ways that have no language, but speak fluently in image, texture, and rhythm. What if we honored those ways? What if the things we call irrational were simply the edges of a deeper truth? Steiner believed we could develop organs of perception within the soul itself, not through superstition, but through exacting spiritual science. He laid out a path, step by step, where the student of higher knowledge trains the imagination until it no longer drifts, but sharpens, where feelings become steady, like the surface of a lake, reflecting something more than itself, where the will is purified not by force, but by repeated attention to what is good. He asks that we do not chase visions, but become worthy of them, not through ritual, but through inner work, by watching ourselves, questioning our motives, tending to our thoughts as carefully as a sculptor shapes stone. This is how the higher worlds open, not as escape, but as unveiling. Look closely. Decay is not death. It is transformation. A fallen tree feeds 100 others. Rust returns the nail to the earth. a withered petal makes way for new fruit. There is a sacred pattern in this, one that does not fear endings, because it knows every end is a return. Fungi are the oldest alchemists. They trade in collapse and build whole forests from it. We do not see this as magic because it is patient, but patience is one of the great powers. This is not destruction, it is release. It is how the earth reclaims what belongs to it and gives it back again as nourishment. We often ask, where has the magic gone? But the better question might be, where has our attention gone? Sometimes I think we have grown too loud to hear it, too fast to feel it, too focused on arriving to notice that we are already inside something sacred. There is a spell in the way rain holds its breath before falling, in the way dust curls through a beam of light, in the weight of silence after someone speaks a deep truth. These are not just moments, they are invitations to return, to remember. Maybe you've felt it, that ache that doesn't have a name, that sense that something is missing even when everything seems fine. Maybe you have been growing in ways no one can see because the world has not given you space to unfold. Real transformation rarely happens when things are easy. It often begins in fatigue and uncertainty, in the quiet resolve to keep going even when no one is watching. This too is part of the path Steiner described, to walk inward even while life pulls you outward, to carry stillness like a lantern. If this speaks to something in you, something long forgotten but never lost, follow the thread. I have left a trail of resources and reflections beneath this video. Not answers, but openings. Not doctrines, but doorways. We have replaced the old words. We no longer say spirit, we say energy. No longer say soul, we say psychology. No longer say omen, we say coincidence. But the currents remain. They move without permission. They wait without anger. They are not gone. This is what Steiner meant, that the world has not stopped speaking. We have simply turned away from its language. The world is not disenchanted, it is disguised. Magic did not vanish, it took new shapes. It became memory, emotion, intuition, a feeling in the gut, a knowing in the chest, a moment of awe that arrives without warning. If you want to see the invisible, you must change how you see. Not by looking harder, but by softening the gaze, by becoming still enough. Try this. Sit with a stone, not for what it can tell you, but for what it won't. Listen to the silence between words. Breathe with the rhythm of leaves. Watch how a shadow moves across the floor. Let the ordinary become strange again. Let the familiar become sacred. Let the stillness teach you something that movement never could. You are not waiting for magic, you are made of it. You are not lost, you are part of a great remembering. And every time you notice the beauty behind a simple thing, you grow closer. The higher powers are not beyond reach. They are within reach if you reach inward. This is what Steiner wanted us to understand, that the journey to higher worlds does not require us to leave this one. It asks us to see this one more deeply, to see that everything is alive, and that we are meant to awaken to that aliveness in ourselves